Dear Diary, today I want to just vent about the absurdity of my mother and how I ended up grounded over a stupid bribe. We'll call this the 704 lunch special. This is how the day went. Grocery shopping. Chapter 1. The Localized Utopia. Narrator. Consider the physics of a fantasy. In the Jura Tempest Federation, reality is governed by the undeniable statistical advantage of friendship and diplomatic immunity. Tonight, the capital is glowing, a sprawling festival of absolute war-free peace. Here, a demon lord is a god, and the barrier of plot armor is absolute. Listen to the dialogue of a finished storyline. Rimuru Tempest. Warm, nostalgic, slightly relieved. Look at this, Veldora. Goblins, dwarves, humans, and demon lords sharing the same table. I never thought we'd actually achieve it. Peace. It really is the best outcome. Veldora Tempest. Boisterous, loud, laughing, plates clattering in the background. Kwahaha, of course we achieved it, Rimuru. With my overwhelming aura and your absolute skills, who would dare challenge us? Now hand over another skewer. The great storm dragon requires more of that spicy sauce. Diablo. Smooth, utterly devoted, pouring wine. As you wish, Veldora-sama, but please try not to disturb Rimuru-sama's peace. His utopia is flawless, and it is my absolute joy to maintain it. Narrator. Cold, stepping over the happy dialogue with surgical precision. They believe they are untouchable. Their power scaling has reached the absolute ceiling. If a threat were to appear right now, Rimuru's ultimate AI, CL, would calculate a flawless countermeasure in milliseconds. The heroes would draw their blades, the triumphant music would swell, and the timeline would protect them. But plot armor is a localized variable. It relies on the universe agreeing to read the script. The Sinful Kill Squad does not read scripts. They hold the author's pen, and they rewrite base code. Hovering just outside the server's spatial barrier, looking down at the glowing lanterns of Tempest, a family is having a quiet conversation. Lilith. Apathetic, annoyed, the sound of a pen tapping against a clipboard. Look at them, drinking fermented pixel juice and calling it a miracle. The biological inefficiency is staggering. Lucifer, check the logs. How long did it take us to format the Charlotte metropolitan area? Lucifer, smooth, polite, dripping with theatrical sociopathy. 45 minutes, dearest. The Bank of America tower provided a slight structural resistance, but a rather entertaining 45 minutes nonetheless. Vivi. Hyperactive, chaotic, bouncing on her heels. Yeah, but you didn't have me in Charlotte. I was busy. I'm here now. Are we doing a speed run? Ooh, let's do a speed run. If a human city took 45, I bet we can pack these anime gods up in 39. Call it 39 minutes. Xena. Deeply depressed, human, exhausted. The heavy sigh of someone burdened by existence. Mother, do we really have to pocket all of them? I don't want to carry the loud dragon. He gives me a migraine. Can I just shift their lungs into glass and go back to sleep? I'm so tired. Lilith. Sharp, authoritative, clicking the author's pen. Take your medicine and do your job, Xena. We need the data. You can sleep when the server is formatted. 39 minutes it is. Vivi, if you break the timer, I'm formatting your console. Vivi. Sing-song, utterly toxic. Yay, I'm gonna put a virus in their therapy session. I called dibs on the big fluffy wolf. Lucifer, chuckling warmly, adjusting his sleeves. Family bonding over a system wipe. How quaint. I'll take the butler in the black suit. I want to see how long it takes to make a primordial demon cry. Narrator, raising pitch slightly, accelerating the tension as the track nears its end. The anime fans watching this timeline think they are safe. They think this is just another crossover where the heroes struggle but ultimately win. They don't know the sinful mechanics yet. They don't know that Charlotte took 45 minutes without Vivi. They are about to watch the strongest alliance in anime history get completely overwritten in 39. Narrator. Dropping pitch, ominous and final. Enjoy the festival, Rimuru. Your server is about to go offline. Chapter 2. The Quantum Breach. Narrator. The transition from utopia to an active war zone does not happen with an explosion. It happens with a baseline frequency shift. High above the Jura Tempest Federation, the sky does not tear. It shatters like a cheap LCD screen, the localized magicules screaming as foreign multiversal code overwrites the atmosphere. Lilith does not draw a weapon. She simply floats above the server, her clipboard acting as the execution terminal, listening to the aggressive beat of her own ambient reality. She looks down at the festival. She sees past the fireworks, past the cheering citizens, and directly into the hidden dimensional pockets of the capital. Lilith, arrogant, speaking into a comms headset, the sound of her pen scratching against the clipboard. Hold your drops, team. The Utopia has an immune system, a shadow detail. Narrator. Hidden in the unseen corners of the city, Sue and Rimuru's elite assassin corps stand guard. They are masters of the dark. Through ultimate skills and localized magic, they are completely undetectable by biological or magical means. They are the perfect security detail for a perfect world. But stealth is a biological concept. It relies on the enemy having eyes. Lilith, apathetic, commanding. Xena, the localized assassins are hiding in the subdimensions. They think their little magic tricks make them invisible. Show them what actual quantum stealth looks like. Clear the board. I don't want any annoying flies buzzing around when I start formatting the main cast. Xena, deeply depressed, human, exhausted, the distinct rattle of a pill bottle popping open. Sigh, always the solitary confinement, always the dark. The dry swallow of a pill, a heavy, burdened breath. Understood, Mother. Quantum hacks engaged, bypassing their localized physics. I'll take out the trash. Narrator, surgically cold, slightly hushed. Xena does not jump. She does not cast a spell. She simply ceases to exist in the current frame of reality. Her organic hybrid biology slips between the atomic structure of the universe itself. She bypasses their magicules entirely, entering a state of true, undetectable quantum stealth. She is a ghost in their machine. To the sinful canon, this is standard operating procedure. Xena always goes into the dark alone. Down below, Rimuru raises a glass, completely unaware that his ultimate security detail is being systematically dismantled. Sue's assassins are masters of silence, which means no one in the festival hears them when Xena snaps their necks from between dimensions. Lilith taps her pen against the clipboard, watching the security nodes blink out one by one. The board is being cleared. The 39-minute speedrun is officially underway. Chapter 3. The Grocery List. Narrator. The festival continues to laugh, the music swells, the drinks are poured. But in the sub-dimensions beneath the capital, the shadows are bleeding out. Xena moves through the quantum layer, entirely disconnected from the physical world. She tracks the biological signature of Sue, the shadow. But Sue is an anomaly, a localized master of evasion. As Xena's quantum lock attempts to sever his atomic structure, he slips through the gap, retreating deeper into the void. Xena, deeply depressed, human, exhausted, a heavy sigh into the comms. Target Sue, evasive. He dropped his localized presence. Sigh. I don't have the dopamine left to chase a ninja through a dimensional crawl space. Narrator. In standard anime canon, a villain losing their target is a moment of frustration, a tactical error. But the Sinful Kill Squad operates on the efficiency of a grocery run. If an item is out of stock in one aisle, you simply walk to the next. Xena. Deadpan, adjusting her tactical harness. Recalculating, updating target list, Guy Crimson. Might as well put the heaviest one in the cart first. Narrator, slowing the pace, letting the gravity of the folk track build. Guy Crimson, the Lord of Darkness, the absolute pinnacle of power in the Tensura universe, a being who has stood uncontested for thousands of years. At the festival high table, he swirls a glass of crimson wine, utterly secure in his invincibility. Xena steps out of the quantum layer directly behind him. There is no epic clash of auras. There is no monologue. There is no triumphant music. Xena simply places her hand on the back of the demon lord's neck and shifts the carbon in his brainstem into solid lead. Guy Crimson, the oldest demon lord, drops dead into his wineglass before the liquid even ripples. The sudden, absolute erasure of Guy's massive magicule signature acts as a localized EMP. The world's alarms trigger simultaneously. The festival music dies. Rimuru stands up, sheer panic replacing his joy. The sky vomits. Narrator. Millions of scorn void dogs pour through the shattered atmosphere, dissolving into the ambient magicules. The hostage vanguard protocol initiates. The utopia is instantly plunged into a biological nightmare. And strolling through the center of the panic, wearing a perfectly pressed pair of khakis, is Lucifer. He casually steps over a screaming goblin, looking around the capital with the pleasant demeanor of a husband on a Sunday errand. Lucifer. Smooth, theatrical, incredibly polite. The sound of him clicking a pen. My, the layout of this universe is so disorganized. Let's see. Aisle 1, Primordial Demons. Narrator. Diablo drops from the sky, landing in front of Lucifer. The black-suited butler radiates an aura of absolute, crushing despair, preparing to vaporize the man in the polo shirt. Lucifer, smiling warmly, talking to himself as if Diablo isn't even a threat. There it is. A bit dramatic, but it will do. Lucifer taps his earpiece, projecting his voice across the squad comms. Honey, I found the butler in aisle 1. I'll bag him up now. Oh, and I see the true dragon over in aisle 2. I'll grab him next. I always prefer the storm lizard's bone in. Do we need any slimes while I'm over here? Or did Xena already put one in the cart? Lilith. Through the comms, apathetic and bored, but with a familiar marital dryness. Just stick to the list, darling. 39 minutes, we aren't browsing. Narrator. Surgically cold, stepping back from the dialogue. Diablo unleashes a wave of localized annihilation. Lucifer doesn't even blink. He just reaches out and begins rewriting the demon's loyalty code, like he's checking the expiration date on a carton of milk. To the heroes, this is the apocalypse. To Team Sinful, it's just a grocery run. Chapter 4, The Primordial Bargain Bin. Narrator. Observe the primordial of black, Diablo. To the Jura Tempest Federation, he is a being of absolute, unfathomable terror. He draws upon the deepest, darkest magic in his localized physics engine. He unleashes a wave of absolute annihilation, a spell designed to erase matter and soul from existence. It engulfs the plaza, swallowing the man in the khakis entirely. The smoke clears. Lucifer is standing exactly where he was, dusting a stray ash off John's collar. The cabaret jazz rhythm of his ambient reality pulses through the air. He extends a hand, stepping forward into an elegant, choreographed waltz. Lucifer, silky, theatrical, matching the swing of the jazz beat. 1, 2, 3, step. You have a lovely rhythm, Diablo, but you're leading with your ego. The posture is all wrong. Diablo, his signature composure shattering, replaced by sheer primal panic. Impossible. That was absolute destruction. What are you? Narrator. Lucifer doesn't strike him. He simply takes Diablo by the hand and spins him, treating the primordial demon like a reluctant dance partner. Lucifer, chuckling warmly, spinning Diablo into a brutal joint-snapping dip. That was a localized tantrum, sweetheart. You demons take yourselves so seriously. Lord of Darkness, Primordial of Black. It all sounds so exhausting. I'm just a husband running errands for his wife. Narrator. Before Diablo can cast another spell, Lucifer taps the demon's chest. He bypasses the biological and magical defenses completely, accessing Diablo's core data. Diablo falls to his knees, his eyes widening in absolute horror as his loyalty to Rimuru is manually overwritten into junk data. But a grocery run is never just one item. 3 more massive magicule signatures drop into the plaza. Testarossa, Carrera, and Ultima, the remaining primordial demons, weapons drawn, radiating fury at the sight of their fallen peer. Lucifer just claps his hands together, his face lighting up with genuine domestic thrill. Lucifer, delighted, speaking into his comms. Honey, you won't believe the luck I'm having in aisle 1. It's a multiple primordial special. A complete set. I'm just going to bag these up for the cart. You know how much I love a good bargain. Narrator, clinical, cold. The 3 primordials lunge simultaneously. Lucifer sidesteps them with the grace of a ballroom dancer. He doesn't even look at them as he shifts their atomic weights, compressing the 3 legendary demons into pocket-sized, corrupted data drives. He tosses them into his pocket alongside Diablo. Lucifer straightens his polo shirt, humming along to the cabaret beat. He turns his attention toward the center of the capital, where the storm dragon Veldora is desperately trying to shield the civilians from the Scorn virus. Lucifer's eyes lock onto the massive scaled tail of the true dragon. Lucifer, sighing happily, the perfect, devoted husband. Now for the main course. Look at the marbling on that tail. Lilith has been craving steak, and a good husband always brings home the best cuts. Let's go get that dragon tail meat special. Narrator, dropping pitch ominous. He strolls toward the true dragon, snapping his fingers to the jazz beat. To Tempest, it is the darkest day in history. To Lucifer, it is just another Sunday crossing items off Lilith's list. Chapter 5, The Petting Zoo. Narrator, Aisle 2, The True Dragon. Lucifer hums over the chaotic punk rock beat echoing through his reality. He steps lightly over the shattered pavement, casually pulling a pristine carving knife from the pocket of John's khakis. Veldora roars, a sound that shakes the tectonic plates of the server, preparing to unleash a localized hurricane. Lucifer simply smiles, sizing up the dragon's tail for the best marbling. But this is a family operation, and a grocery run requires supervision. Pause. 2 seconds. High above the slaughter, safely floating in the void just outside the dimensional tear, Lilith sits on her rock. She is watching a live broadcast of the capital's collapse on a glowing terminal, her legs crossed, casually taking notes on her clipboard. Beside her, Vivi is vibrating with sheer toxic impatience. Vivi, hyperactive, whining loudly, tugging on Lilith's sleeve. Mom, come on! The timer is ticking. When do I get to go down there? I want to break their shields. I want to play with the slime. Lilith, apathetic but with a twisted domestic maternal warmth. She doesn't look up from her clipboard. Patience, sweetie. You have to let Daddy prepare the steaks first. Besides, Mommy has a very busy schedule today. I have a play date scheduled later with that loud pink-haired dragon girl. Milam, was it? I even invited that strict harpy demon lord she absolutely dreads running into. It is going to be a wonderfully traumatic little tea party. Lilith clicks her pen, a wicked smirk crossing her face. And after that, Mommy is going to play kickball with a slime. Vivi, pouting, stomping her foot to the aggressive beat. No fair, I want to kick the slime, I want to pop it. Lilith, chuckling softly, tapping her pen against Vivi's nose. If you sit still, watch the monitors, and take notes on how their localized biology unravels, I'll let you pop it. Look at the petting zoo, sweetie. The animals are tearing themselves apart. Narrator, surgically cold, returning to the battlefield. Lilith points her pen at the monitor. The broadcast pans away from Lucifer and Veldora, zooming in on the central plaza. The hostage vanguard protocol has reached complete saturation. The Scorn Void dogs have completely dissolved into the ambient magicules, overriding the nervous systems of Tempest's most beloved heroes. Observe Rimuru, the ogre prince. His physical stats are entirely intact. His ultimate skills are functioning perfectly, but the Scorn virus has seized his motor cortex. Benimaru, swinging his katana in a flawless, lethal arc, his voice is raw, entirely human, and breaking with absolute terror. Get back, everyone run, I can't stop. Lord Rimuru, please, kill me, just kill me. Narrator, clinical, observing the horror like an archivist. Black flames erupt from his blade, incinerating his own citizens. His body moves with algorithmic perfection, executing combos his localized physics engine was designed to celebrate. The Scorn code is deliberately cruel. It mutes the host's physical control, but intentionally leaves the vocal cords and the pain receptors active. Benimaru is a passenger in his own flesh, begging his best friend to execute him. Rimuru Tempest drops to his knees. The slime demon lord refuses to attack his family. He attempts to use empathy. He orders his remaining forces to stand down and initiate psychological debugging. He tries to heal a digital plague with compassion. Up on the floating rock, Lilith watches Rimuru's desperate command on the monitor. She sighs, circling a data point on her clipboard. Lilith, utterly disappointed. There it is, the fatal flaw of biological empathy. They always try to save the corrupted files. She looks over at Vivi, giving a small, permissive nod. All right, sweetie. The animals are distracted. You can go down and play now. Don't forget to leave your tag. Vivi. Squealing with absolute chaotic joy. Yay! Cyber Pirate Uprising! Chapter 6. The Defective Trigger. Narrator. The capital is burning and the elite guard has formed a final, desperate line of defense. Sue the Shadow, Shion the Heavy Enforcer, and Shuna the beloved princess in the pristine kimono. They stand back to back, their ultimate skills flared, ready to defend their utopia to the last breath. Pop culture has taught you to fear the machine, the Terminatrix, the cold, unfeeling cyborg that hunts without emotion. But a machine is a mercy. A machine doesn't know what it's taking from you. Xena is worse. Xena is a 16-year-old organic hybrid. She isn't a robot. Her nervous system is entirely human. She feels every ounce of the horror. She knows exactly how much pain she is causing. But she has buried it under the weight of 6 entire universes. 6 formatted realities, slaughtered and archived before this kill squad even picked Vivi up in timeline number 7. To Tempest, this is the end of the world. To Xena, this is just another Tuesday. Xena steps out of the quantum layer directly in front of Shuna, the fan favorite, the untouchable shrine maiden. Shuna's hands glow with absolute holy magic, preparing to cast a barrier to protect her friends. Xena doesn't even blink. She stares directly into Shuna's eyes, her own irises dull, dead, and entirely exhausted. Xena, her voice flat, cold, and utterly devoid of mercy. Sine, baka. Narrator. Xena doesn't overpower the holy magic. She bypasses it. Her hand phases through the glowing barrier, passing through Shuna's ribcage, and manually severs the electrical impulses of the princess's heart. Shuna drops to the pavement, dead before her knees hit the cobblestone. Shion, screaming in absolute guttural agony. Shuna, you monster! I'll tear you apart! Narrator. Shion swings her massive odachi, a blade capable of severing space itself. It is a strike fueled by pure, unadulterated grief. Inside Xena's mind, a 16-year-old girl is screaming. She is begging to stop. She just wants to be a normal teenager. She wants to worry about exams, curfews, and going to the mall. She wants to sleep. But Xena knows the brutal reality of the sinful mechanics. She is a throwaway asset, a biological weapon. If she hesitates, if she shows inefficiency, Mother will simply replace her. So she runs the script. She silences the teenager in her head, letting the desensitization take the wheel. Xena catches the edge of Shion's space-cleaving odachi with her bare hand. The blade shatters into digital static. She steps into Shion's guard, looking up into the weeping enforcer's eyes. Xena. Monotone, repeating the protocol. Sine. Baka. Narrator. Xena shifts the density of the air inside Shion's lungs into solid osmium, the heaviest metal in existence. Shion's chest instantly collapses inward under the crushing, localized gravity, and she falls beside Shuna, her incredible strength rendered completely useless. 2 of the strongest fighters in Tempest, dismantled in less than 5 seconds. Sue is a master of evasion. He realizes instantly that combat is mathematically impossible. He splits into a dozen shadow clones, scattering in every dimensional direction to warn Rimuru. But Xena's quantum processing is already ahead of his localized biology. She exists in the spaces between his clones. As the real Sue emerges from a subdimension miles away, gasping for breath, Xena is already standing there waiting for him. Xena, a heavy, depressed sigh staring through him. Seen it, baka. Narrator. She casually taps his forehead. Sue's atomic structure loses its cohesion, dissolving him into a puddle of corrupted organic matter. Xena stands alone in the alleyway. The bodies of the elite guard are scattered at her feet. She doesn't laugh. She doesn't gloat. She simply reaches into her tactical harness, pulls out a small orange plastic bottle, and pops the cap. She swallows a pill dry, staring blankly at the burning sky, a defective trigger waiting for the next target. Chapter 7, The Toy Aisle. Narrator. Aisle 3, The Toy Aisle. In the center of the capital's command plaza, Rimuru Tempest is drowning in error codes. The ultimate slime is hyperventilating. Rimuru Tempest, frantic, his voice trembling with sheer desperation. CL! Update the tactical map. Where is Guy? Where is Veldora? Why can't I feel Diablo's magicules? Narrator, coldly observant. CL has no answers. The AI can only report localized facts. The magicules are gone. The elite guard is dead. The capital is a biological quarantine zone. Rimuru attempts to deploy his absolute defense, throwing up layers of Uriel's spatial barriers, desperately trying to lock down the remaining survivors. But while Rimuru tries to build walls, Vivi is busy tearing down the strongest ceiling in his universe. Cut to the eastern ridge. Milam Nava, the Destroyer, the oldest, most chaotic demon lord in existence. She stands beside Frey, the Sky Queen. They are staring at the burning capital in utter disbelief, their localized physics engines screaming that something fundamentally wrong has entered their world. A glitch in reality sparks directly in front of them. Vivi skips out of the static, holding a can of neon spray paint and a half-empty Slurpee. Vivi, giggling uncontrollably, bouncing to the hyperpop beat. Hi, you must be the loud pink lizard Mommy told me about. Ooh, and you brought a bird! I love the petting zoo! Milam Nava, furious, her draconic aura erupting like a supernova. Who are you calling a lizard? I am Milam Nava. I'll blow you away. Drago, no! Narrator. Milam charges her ultimate attack, a beam capable of erasing a country. In anime canon, this is an unstoppable force of nature. To Vivi, it's a laser pointer. Vivi doesn't dodge. She quantum glitches forward, the massive beam of destruction passing harmlessly through her cybernetic code. Before Milam can even process the impossible evasion, Vivi is standing on Milam's shoulders. Vivi, sing-song utterly toxic. Boop, tag, you're it. Narrator. Vivi slaps a concentrated scorn viral patch directly onto Milam's forehead. The Destroyer's eyes instantly roll back. Her legendary draconic core crashes like an overheated hard drive, and she drops from the sky like a stone. Frey, the Sky Queen, shrieks in horror and dives to intercept. Vivi just takes a sip of her Slurpee, throws the plastic cup at Frey's face, and rewrites the atmospheric density around the harpy's wings. Frey's feathers turn to solid tungsten, dragging her screaming into the dirt beside Milam. Narrator. Cut back to Rimuru. The slime is watching the eastern ridge monitors go entirely dark. His panic reaches critical mass. Rimuru Tempest, screaming, pouring his entire soul into his magical barriers. Hold the line! CL! Reinforce the dimensional gaps! Don't let anything through! Narrator. He believes his absolute defense is flawless. He believes that if he can just hold the barrier, he can calculate a counterattack. He is relying on the plot armor of a closed system, but Vivi doesn't care about closed systems. Rimuru breathes a heavy sigh of relief as his barrier holds firm. The command plaza is perfectly silent, and then a streak of neon graffiti bleeds directly through the center of his absolute, impenetrable shield. The words Vivi was Heye spray paint themselves across the inside of the barrier. Rimuru freezes. The air directly in front of the slime pixelates. Vivi pops out of the static, hanging upside down, her face inches from Rimuru's gelatinous core. Vivi, grinning with absolute terrifying innocence. Hi! Mommy said I couldn't pop you until I finished my playdate, but guess what? I'm all done. Narrator. Dropping pitch, surgical, and final. Rimuru Tempest realizes, in a fraction of a second, that the game was rigged before it even began. Chapter 8. The Infinite Book Bag. Narrator. Observe the final moments of a localized god. Rimuru Tempest, the supreme ruler of the Jura Forest, stares at the hyperactive cyber pirate hanging upside down inside his absolute defense. His AI is silent. His magicules are unresponsive. Before Rimuru can even attempt final desperate spell, the air beside Vivi fractures. Xena steps out of the quantum layer. She doesn't break the barrier. She simply ignores that it exists. She looks down at the slime demon lord with the exhausted, dead-eyed expression of a teenager forced to do chores on a weekend. Xena, deeply depressed, popping the cap off her pill bottle and swallowing dryly. Hold up, Vivi. Put the safety back on. You can't pop him yet. Vivi, flipping upright, crossing her arms and pouting violently to the dubstep beat. Why not? Mommy literally just said I could pop him. I did my homework. I broke the pink lizard. Xena, sighing heavily, rubbing her temples as if Rimuru's presence is giving her a migraine. Mother needs to format his core first. She has to have her little chat with the server admin before she archives the timeline. Plus, I called dibs on the physical mass. Rimuru Tempest, trembling, his slime body vibrating with sheer existential dread. Dibs? You're talking about my body? What are you going to do to me? Narrator. Rimuru possesses the ultimate skill Beelzebub, granting him an infinite localized dimensional stomach. It is a power that has swallowed entire armies and neutralized apocalyptic dragons. Xena looks at the ultimate slime, completely unimpressed. Xena, monotone, completely ignoring Rimuru's panic. His localized spatial storage is highly efficient. I'm going to gut his biology, compress the membrane, and turn him into a new goth-style hunting book bag. I need the extra inventory space for my spare magazines. Rimuru Tempest, his human voice cracking in absolute horror. A hunting book bag? I am a demon lord! Vivi, stomping her boot, completely ignoring Rimuru. No, I want to pop him. I earned it. I'm gonna tell Mom you're stealing my toys. Narrator, surgically cold. The most powerful entity in the Tensura universe is reduced to background noise. He sits in the ruins of his burning capital, watching two multiversal biological weapons argue over who gets to turn his corpse into a fashion accessory. Xena stares at Vivi. She reaches into her tactical harness, completely unfazed by the tantrum. Xena, deadpan, offering the ultimate multiversal bribe. Vivi, if you back off and let me bag him, I'll buy you a Dairy Queen Blizzard and a Slurpee on the way back to the airship. Xena, lowering her voice, maintaining her depressed monotone. I have some localized currency left over from the 704 drop. Just don't tell Mother. You know how she gets about us eating junk food before an extraction. Vivi, her eyes widening and the toxic anger instantly replaced by chaotic joy. A Blizzard and a Slurpee? Deal. He's all yours, sis. Make him a cute backpack. Make sure it has lots of zippers. Narrator, dropping pitch, ominous and final. The negotiation is complete. Rimuru's fate is sealed, traded away for a frozen dairy treat and a gas station beverage. Xena steps forward, her hand glowing with a dull, localized quantum field. She doesn't draw a weapon. She just reaches down to collect her new bag. Chapter 9. The Grocery Haul. Narrator. The 39-minute timer reaches 0. The Jura Tempest Federation does not burn to ash. It simply ceases to compute. Lilith clicks the author's pen, highlighting the entire localized server, and hits format. The sky, the earth, and the magicules dissolve into a sprawling, empty white void. The symphonic metal track acts as the closing credits for a reality that no longer exists. Floating in the center of this endless white nothingness is a single chunk of debris, and on that rock, a family barbecue is in full swing. Narrator. Lucifer stands over a literal charcoal grill, wearing a Kiss the Cook apron over John's khakis. He hums along to the heavy, sweeping chords of the track, casually flipping thick marbled slabs of Veldora's tail with a pair of silver tongs. Lucifer, warm, domestic, entirely unbothered by the metal soundtrack. Steaks are almost done, honey. Medium rare for the girls, just the way they like it. Oh, the marbling on these true dragons is just exquisite. Narrator. Vivi skips through the white static, completely devoid of combat fatigue. She is dragging the massive, violently severed horn of Ranga, the star wolf, leaving a trail of pixelated dust behind her. Vivi, giggling, holding the massive horn up like a trophy. "Mommy, look! The big dog practically gave it to me! Can we mount it on the dashboard of the airship?" Narrator. Behind her, Xena walks onto the rock. Her eyes are dead, her posture exhausted. In her hands, she carries a heavily bruised, vibrating mass of blue slime. Rimuru Tempest. He is no longer a demon lord. His localized physical mass has been brutally hollowed out and aggressively compressed. Xena has literally tied a tactical carrying strap around his gelatinous core. He is a bag. Xena. Deeply depressed, dropping the slime onto the ground with a heavy thud. Target secured. Infinite storage capacity verified. I'm going to take a nap in the cargo hold. Narrator. Lilith walks over, her clipboard tucked under her arm. She inspects the hall. But as the slime hits the ground, a distinct plastic crinkling sound echoes from deep inside Rimuru's compressed stomach. Lilith raises an eyebrow. She reaches directly into the slime demon lord's core, phasing her hand through his gelatinous membrane, and pulls out the contents of his infinite storage. She pulls out 2 empty Dairy Queen Blizzard cups and a crushed plastic Slurpee cup. Lilith, sighing, shifting into a strict maternal tone. "Xena, Vivi, what did I say about filling up on localized junk food before dinner? Daddy is cooking dragon steaks." Vivi, pointing immediately at her sister. "Xena bought it. She used the leftover currency from the 704 drop. It was a bribe so I wouldn't pop the slime." Xena, groaning, rubbing her temples. "Snitch, I just needed the inventory space. The sugar keeps her quiet." Narrator. Rimuru Tempest, the savior of the monsters, the unifier of the Jura Forest, is forced to watch his ultimate skill, Beelzebub, the consumer of worlds, be utilized as a cosmic trash can to hide fast food wrappers from a disappointed mother. Lilith drops the empty plastic cups back into Rimuru. She kneels down, bringing her face inches from his vibrating, terrified core. The symphonic metal begins its final, chaotic decrescendo. There is only the cold, arrogant reality of the author's pen. Lilith. Apathetic, a wicked, mocking smirk spreading across her face. "You know, for a localized god, you make a rather excellent grocery bag. Thank you for the server space, the dragon meat, and the inventory upgrade. It was a very productive 39 minutes. She stands up, dusting off her hands, and turns to Lucifer. "Pack up the grill, darling. The girls have their toys and the pantry is full. Set the coordinates." Lucifer, smiling, plating the dragon steaks. "Right away, honey. Where are we heading next?" Lilith. "Timeline 7. We're fully stocked up, and I have a feeling they are going to need a reality check." Narrator, surgically cold, lowering pitch for the final sign-off. "The utopia is archived. The timeline is deleted. The anime world thinks they are safe behind their screens and their scaling charts, but Team Sinful's cart is never full, and they are already on their way."